This video will discuss the hip adductors, primarily the Adductor Magnus. The hip adductors, including the Adductor Magnus, Longus, and Brevis, as well as the Pectineus and gracilis, play a vital role in lower body movements, not only in the adduction of, but also the stability of, your hips and pelvis. The Adductor Magnus is a large triangular muscle with a unique structure. It's the largest of the adductor muscles. The adductor part originates from the pubis and ischial tuberosity, while the hamstring part arises from the ischial tuberosity and inserts into the linea aspera of the femur. Its primary action involves adduction of the thigh and aids in hip extension via ischial tuberosity. Moving into the first strengthening exercise, we have deadlifts. Engaging in deadlifts shows the role of the Adductor Magnus in hip extension, working alongside the hamstrings and glutes. The primary joint action of this movement is a hip extension. To perform a deadlift, stand with your feet hip-width apart and bend down to grab the barbell with an overhand grip. Lift the weight up towards your hips, keeping your back straight throughout the movement. This next exercise is a seated groin stretch and can be used for any short adductor. With this stretch, the adductors are lengthened. You can begin by sitting with your back straight and pulling your feet together. You can gently lean forward to intensify the stretch, and you'll feel it in your inner thighs, which are your short adductors. For another strengthening exercise, side-lying leg lifts are great to target the long adductor, the Adductor Magnus. You can begin by lying on your side with your legs straight, lifting the top leg upward, engaging the adductors by working against gravity. Then lower the leg with control, feeling the muscles work as you descend. The second stretch exercise for the long adductor part of the Adductor Magnus is the wide-legged forward bend. Perform this stretch by standing with your legs wide apart and bending forward from the hips, reaching towards the floor. You should feel that stretch along your inner thigh, the Adductor Magnus. Lastly, for the long adductor part of the Adductor Magnus, you can do a strengthening exercise with the cable machine, cable hip adduction. To do this, start by standing beside the cable machine and attaching the cable to your ankle, adjusting the height as necessary. You can pull the cable inward against resistance via hip adduction, and thus engaging the long adductor. You can also use support such as a wall to rest your hand on and help yourself balance.